What is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Lioness here, and today we are going to review another movie. Now, today we are going to review another childhood classic, since most of you guys probably have remembered this movie, because I do. And of course, there is a remake of this movie, which I will be reviewing. This one has Gene Wilder, who was amazing, but unfortunately he died sometime in 2016, which is sad. But today in this video, we're going to talk about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This one came out in 1971, and it was a childhood classic. Most people who, grew up, around the 1960s or 1970s will remember this movie. My mom, I believe she saw this in theaters when she was a kid, and she honestly said that this movie was really good. Now, with me, I have known that this movie is really good, and I'm sure most of us have seen it as a kid. I am sure every single one of us have seen this movie as a kid. Now, before I get started with this review, I'm just going to warn you all right now that if you have not seen being Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, I highly recommend you click off this video and go watch another one of my videos if you like. Now, with that said, I think we should just begin. Now, let's begin with the movie. Now, the movie starts off with a family named Charlie, well, a family known as the Buckets. And there's a young kid named Charlie Bucket who appears to be one of the kids that has family problems. Well, basically the family struggles with money and stuff. Now, in this movie, we see that, all the Willy Wonka, who basically has all the tickets sold out to, Wonka bars, and the first 5 kids to find the golden tickets will be sent to, well, you kind of know, will be sent to the factory for the whole tour, and for the winner gets a special prize. Now, 4 kids got the ticket, and Charlie, ends up being one of the lucky kids to find Wonka's last golden ticket. With that being said, Grandpa Joan, also known as Jack Albertson, who was Amos Slade's voice actor in The Fox and the Hound, he goes with Charlie to the chocolate factory so they can meet Willy Wonka. When they get there, they meet Gene Wilder. This is the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka we're talking about, which I will review the Johnny Depp one. I don't have anything bad about the Johnny Depp one, but I could definitely say something that it's a little confusing, which I will get to that, eventually later on. Now, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory has been a really good childhood. Like I said, I've watched this so many times as a kid, and I just recently watched this movie for the first time in years. I think the last time I watched it, I was maybe 11 or 12, and now I just watched it for the first time in a long time. I honestly enjoyed this as a kid. Now, with that said, though, let's begin back with the review. Now, when all the kids go into, well, the factory, they sign this contract that was on screen, which goes from biggest letters to smallest ones. So we have the fat kid, or Augustus Gloop. We have the gum chewer girl, Violet. We have Veruca Salt, who is the spoiled brat, or snobby brat, whatever you guys prefer to call it. And we have Mike TV, who is basically the gamer dude, or just the kind of dude that really does not know what he's talking about. And we have Charlie Bucket, who is the lucky kid. So Willy Wonka basically shows the kids around the factory, and I can definitely say that every time Willy Wonka shows the kids the new room, a child disappears. Like, for example, Augustus Gloop falls into the chocolate river, and the parents of the person is dismissed. And Willy Wonka dismissed the parent with one of the Oompa Loompas to check out the kids. Just say, take Mrs. Gloop to the fudge room, and, etc. So, one of the most terrifying scenes comes up, and this is probably one of the most famous ones. I think it did get cut off in the TV when they released this on TV. I'm pretty sure it did get cut off, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. What I am going to say right now is this. Basically, I'm going to say right now is the boat ride scene. Like the boat ride scene where Willy Wonka takes everybody on the boat ride and they go for the boat ride scene. However, though, there's terrifying images and stuff that is being played. I'm sure lots of people have remembered seeing that scene in the movie. I honestly got horrified at this point, well, as a young kid, but when I got older, I realized, that it's just fake. So there's nothing really too much. It's just fake. However, we get to the next room where, of course, Willy Wonka gives everyone gobstoppers, and then he explains that he's making a free-course dinner meal, chewing gum. So Violet ends up being turned into a blueberry, and Willy Wonka dismisses her dad and her to the juicing room. So the next scene goes on to another part of the movie where we see the golden geese. Now the geese laying golden eggs. Veruca has like kind of like a tantrum sort of in the movie, and she ends up being dismissed. And of course, we have another scene where, Mike TV gets, tiny by jumping into the television, and he goes to the taffy puller with his mom and the Oompa Loompas. And they found out at the end of the movie, we find out that Charlie is the winner, and that's basically how the film ends. Now, I can definitely say right now that there are some scenes in there that were kind of familiar in the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka movie that you guys may have noticed. Now, the concept itself is just very, very almost similar to the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. However, in this one, since it's called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Gene Wilder, the confusing thing I could definitely say, it's not a negative, but I could really want to point out that, I'm probably going to make a mention of that again in the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when I review that one. But in the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka we see right here, this story focuses on Charlie, and in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the story focuses on Willy Wonka. Yeah, I can really say that right now you probably are confused right there is, wait, why is that the case? Why is it not the other way around? I'm unfortunately have no idea why that's the case, but you guys could probably figure it out yourselves. But for most of us who have seen this movie, I can really say that, that's probably one of them that I can really say that we see. Now, I know there is a Tom and Jerry adaptation of this that is taking place, in the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, but unfortunately, Willy Wonka is voiced by another actor and not Gene Wilder. That one I could just say was okay, but it's just not the same. Because every time I think about that movie, I think about the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. That's something I could definitely really say. However, there's a lot of things that I can also say that can be, arranged, so to speak. If you know what I mean, you probably will understand. Now, this movie was actually really good. I love the concept itself. It's just similar to the book, except it's different. I like the storyline of how the movie went out, which is amazing. I like the characters. I found Veruca to be, my least favorite in this one because, she's basically a spoiled brat who just wants everything, And I can definitely say that I don't blame a lot of people for having spoiled brat kids now these days. I can't blame them for that. So, with that said, this movie was actually really good. I honestly found everything about it to be good. Now, the storyline of how the movie went out is just amazing, and the flow of it was just perfect. Now, I honestly really like this Gene Wilder version of Willy Wonka. I honestly love Johnny Depp as well, but Willy Wonka was the legend of this, and it is sad that Gene Wilder one passed away back in 2016, which is very sad, but he will always be Willy Wonka. And he always has a special heart for that. And yeah, I don't have anything negative to say about it. The only thing I could definitely say that is confusing is the story in this movie right here is just focusing on Charlie and not Willy Wonka when it's called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I honestly don't know why that's the case, but that's kind of confusing. But I could definitely say that, you guys probably have seen this, so you might have noticed that too. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed that, but I did. So if you guys noticed it, just let me know in the comments down below. And with that being said, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's okay too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to this movie, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this movie would have to be a 10 out of 10. It's a great movie, great concept, great storyline, great plot. I love the flow of the story. I love the characters, the voice, the actors were great, especially Gene Wilder. Everything about it was just awesome. I could definitely tell you that. So for those who have not seen this movie, I highly recommend you check it out, as it's a really great movie, and I really definitely encourage you guys to go see it if you haven't. Now, anyways, what did you all think about this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this movie a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the channel Lioness. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're brand new here to this channel, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so you guys will get to be notified of my videos every day. And like always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.